Okay, ladies and gentlemen, mostly Jeff. We are back with another classic arcade game that we've been studying. This time around, it's Atari Asteroids. Um, I wasn't able to find a good emulator of the original game, but this online version is pretty close. Um, so it was made in 1970, 70, 78, 79. Hold up, Google time. It's always Google time, right? Let's see, when was it made? Oh, 79, 79. I knew that. Ha. So yeah, made by Atari. And this is basically the game that ended up saving them. They had that issue with they were selling games for that accounting issue that put them nearly on the brink of bankruptcy, and they had to sell their Japanese division, which became Namco, which we studied. But Asteroids apparently is the game that practically saved them, and you'll see why. Because, like I said in my last video, people pay money to play fun games, and at least my initial impression so far has been that this is a very fun game. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. Tell you what I think about it. Here we go. So first off, vector graphics, right? And that was actually pretty impressive for this game. That, and it doesn't sound nearly as annoying. It's smooth, you float around nicely. It does have screen wrapping. Dang it. I mean, collision detection's not perfect. None of these old games' collision detection really is perfect. Why it's freaking out? Oh! Why it's, like, getting faster? I don't know. This website does, like, have a high score thing, but it doesn't work. So unfortunately, we can't see how terrible I am compared to everyone else. So it's a quick and easy game. It's like what you'd think of for an arcade game. Controls are simple: thrust, rotation, fire. It's the same four controls that we've had in every single space game up to this point. So computer space had, thrust, rotation, fire. Space War had thrust, rotation, fire. Asteroids has thrust, rotation, fire. And in reality, and while they're similar games, that does not necessarily make them, in my mind, Asteroids is fresh enough to be considered something different. Oh, screw you. What the? I don't know. It's an engrossing game. Sorry I haven't been talking much, but it's engrossing. It's very, very easy. It feels very, very smooth, very fluid. In my mind, it's still simpler than something like Space War. But I think it provides a very nice balance in simplicity of play and challenge. Oh, screw you. fun! Look at that! The spaceships actually will... The aliens will actually crash into the asteroids. How nice is that? So realistic, right? I mean, just look at these beautiful vector graphics. Okay, so I'm not doing awfully now. You kind of want to like concentrate on the smaller ones first, because when you get a bunch of those small ones flying around, it gets hairy. Woo! No! No! It gets, yeah, see, that's what happens. So you really want to focus on knocking out individual asteroids before you move on to the bigger ones. Gotcha. No, okay. Dang it, okay, I knew that. There was no way. So, it feels like, you know, the same physics. It feels a lot more fluid than computer space. And I don't know why I keep comparing every game to the game before it, but they're kind of similar. They're similar enough that I would call them similar. At least in modern day standards, you know, like Skyrim is definitely not the same thing as like Forza. It's not the same. Most of us would consider these kinds of games more or less the same thing. But I don't know, I at least would think that when it came out, it was a very unique kind of game, which is, yeah, like a lot of the arcade games that came out were kind of like clones of clones of clones of clones, especially with okay, the Pong clones. But there's, I don't know, there's a reason why this game got so popular. And it's because it was unique enough, it was different enough that it was able to be set apart from the competition. I don't know, it's fun. It's probably, I don't know, I'm overly partial to Space War. But Asteroids is pretty cool too. Screw you, Asteroid. Yeah, the best kind of like strategy is to like shoot at them and wait for them to drift into your stream of fire. Because you can fire as fast as you can press that button. And you can probably hear me just slamming away at the spacebar right now. Dang it. Okay. No. Abort. Abort. And this game actually got popular enough that Atari re-released a color version of it, which is on the Web Arcade. And I know technically, you know, we haven't hit this time period yet, but I just kind of wanted to show you the upgraded version. So, different sounds, color graphics. The asteroids are cooler. They added a unique feature where you can teleport in case, you know, you find yourself in a tricky situation, like when you get surrounded by a bunch of asteroids, right? The asteroids don't spawn it. So, the original, they would break into two. This time, they just get smaller. So, the music's the same. Dang it. See, that's when you should teleport. Also, and you see how, like, whenever you break them up, they completely change direction? The other game, actually, the asteroids would break and keep some of the same momentum. It wasn't as drastic, don't think, the breaking. So, like I said, this one, no, 84 was when this one, the remake was released. So, oh wow, you can get moving. See? Oh. Okay, so it does the thing where it, like, will kill you randomly. So it does the same thing as Space War did with the teleportation. So you can see how, like, a lot of these ideas, like, a lot of them are shared, copied over, mixed together. There's not huge amounts of innovation in this area yet. I mean, Asteroids, I think, was innovative, but obviously it was innovative enough to become popular. It's still not wholly set off from everything else, but it is, you know, it is a pretty unique game in comparison with some of the straight up rip-offs, all the Pong clones. So that's it for this week. I will do my best to keep up with this space theme we've got going, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.